Chad with the 5x5 vlog. Seems like we're living in a time where it's becoming the norm to wake up and think, what trauma has befell humanity today? I really didn't want to do a video about this topic, but something inside wouldn't let it go. So hopefully over the next few minutes I can present to you a perspective that might be new or a little different than everything you've heard before on gun violence in America. I feel like many people are waking up to the possibility that some action does indeed need to be taken, but a lot of people aren't quite sure what that action should be, myself included. Do I continue to do research? Do I reach out to politicians? Do I keep debating with friends? Do I do videos? Will this video even make a difference? All of the social media and news outlets are just lining up, attempting to define what that root problem really is and put a face to the blame that all of us are feeling needs to be placed somewhere. I've been doing a lot of research, trying to find some common thread, some link that could give me this illuminating insight into what is actually going on. Some of you, I believe, have already arrived at the conclusion that I'm about to share. See, I've been scouring sources and putting pieces together, thinking outside the box as much as I possibly can. I've pored over gun violence statistics, death statistics, demographics, mental health diagnoses, prescription use, drug use, social issues, Second Amendment, divorce rates, the history of guns in America, and I've even gone back and reviewed information that I learned in humanities. After a while of thinking, keep going, Chad, it will pay off, just keep it going, I realized you're a nurse. Maybe come at this from a medical viewpoint and it would all make a little bit more sense. Maybe you could find some cohesion in all of this stuff that you're researching. So we'll go with that. A patient comes into the ER. They have severe right lower abdominal pain. They're profusely sweating. They have nausea and vomiting. They have a fever. My initial thought is they have appendicitis. I use this example because many of you have or know someone that's been through this exact same situation. So after my initial assessment, I've treated the fever, the pain, and the nausea, and find that they do indeed have appendicitis. Now that the patient's feeling much better, as his fever is down and his pain and nausea have been resolved, he's discharged home, right? No. That's not right. He has appendicitis, and the only solution for appendicitis is surgery. The appendix has to be cut out, and that's the only cure for him. If discharged, his appendix could rupture, which leads to sepsis, shock, multi-system organ failure, and death. The American people, news anchors, politicians, and social media are all abuzz about how we fix this problem. How do we diminish and hopefully one day eradicate mass shootings in America? Is gun control the answer? How about pouring more money into mental health services? What red flags need to be in place to alert us to the potential that someone is about to commit such a crime? I really wanted to be the one that was able to pull all of this data and evidence together and put it in one place so people could pore over it and get this really nice, big, overall picture. And I failed. And I think I know why. When looking at some of the statistics, I found some of the information very astonishing. And if looked at them alone, you could make the argument that America is headed on the right track. But when you look at these various statistics together, at least when I did, I realized what the common thread was. We're all looking at symptoms of the problem. Everyone thinks that they have the answer, and by sharing some meaningful looking quote about how insert quote here is the only answer, many people believe they've done their part. They have now officially done their civic duty, they've been patriotic, and they can go on with their lives until the cycle repeats. The problem is that the cycle is going to repeat. Just like the appendicitis patient, treating the symptoms is not going to fix the problem. It can buy time, can provide relief, can make people feel better, even safer. But ultimately, the clock is still counting down to the next event. The status is not quo, and the system is broken. The crazy thing is, we're the system. And by our silence, our lack of action, more importantly, our lack of follow-through, says that it's okay to maintain the status quo. We're saying it is okay to the families of those who have been gunned down. We're saying it is okay for hate to proliferate in our culture. We're saying that the deaths of approximately 732 people are meaningless at this point because we've done nothing about it. We are the problem. We're the root cause. Looking through history, anyone can see that violence has been a part of us since day one. It has always surrounded some version of us versus them, hate aligning itself with division. So how do we change the us versus them to we, where love aligns itself with inclusion? I could deep dive into any one of the possible symptom relief solutions and argue both sides because I see and understand the perspective of both. But relieving symptoms is only going to buy us time. The disease is still going to recur. So I only ask one thing of you. Consider the possibility that you are a strong enough person to set your ego aside and critically think. Place yourself on the other side of the argument. People simply don't believe differently than you because they're dumb. They may be ignorant of your perspective simply because they've never encountered it before or had anyone share it with them. Ask them if you can share your side, but be humble enough to listen and learn from theirs. None of us know who is going to walk into our lives in the future. Every single one of the shooters had a story. It was unique, it was theirs and theirs alone. Yet, something led each one of them to a climax of death. Where did their story diverge into one of hate or apathy? Was there any one individual that had walked into their lives that could have once just said, "I'll listen," or "I will love you"? Could that one moment have changed anything? By alienating, dividing, bullying, and ignoring those around us, our society is washing and repeating the cycle. Through apathy, hate, and adversity, we are slowly creating the next gunman. Talk with someone on the other side of the argument. People with opposing viewpoints often find the best solutions together. When all is said and done, we're all human, one race. We're a team and we're in this together. So build a bridge and an ally. You'll never know it, but one of those bridges may lead someone to not join a hate group or pick up a gun and create a duplicate copy of yesterday's headline. I'm Chad with the 5x5 vlog. Be the change and make it count.